Good morning. This is Wentworth Falls. There was this sign that said 20 minutes to a lookout, but I probably walked to the wrong lookout because I was already 20 minutes descending. But the result is that you will see this fall, which is not that spectacular, but there's this big parrot-like thing bird which is flying around. I'll try to shoot it later on, which is pretty spectacular. They're getting bigger and bigger.
Jenolan caves, it's been important to put safety first. At the top of these stairs, please continue up the stairs to your left, where you'll see the most spectacular views this cave has to offer. At Jenolan, this playback hall, they can only be seen at these caves. You can see that the playbacks grow towards the light. They're all orange. Then in the 1920s, straighter cement stairs were built and electric lighting was added to the metal cave. Although
things growing here on the line, on the floor of the cave. This is all mud and gravel, so this is all flowstone. Over the top, you can see there's little pools there, what looks like pools. Well, these are pools, they're crystal rim pools, and what happens is the water sits in an undulation here in amongst the crystal formation on the floor, and the water becomes very dense with calcium carbonate crystal, and eventually it reaches the point it becomes saturated. When it becomes saturated, the crystal will float on the surface. Because it's in a confined area, and it doesn't have to be anything as small as, it can be much larger than this. In a confined area you get the forces of surface tension. So here we go, we've got the beautiful crystal here. All the really surprising formations. We've had a lightning strike as the trouble with lights. Here we've got some really, couple of quite interesting features here. Got a stalagmite growing up, and the one on the left, what's it look like?
a bottle?
Yeah, it is. It's a Shelley's Lemon Delight bottle. It used to be a brand of soft drink that we had here many, many years ago. And that was put there in December of 1957. I was 12, okay? A long time ago. And then they started to build the staircase that we just came here. Left the bottle there. And that's been there, well, 57, what's that? It's about 52 years. 52 years it's been there. Okay, so this is why it's covered in crystal. We'd really like to have a look down inside it. This is the ones just there. Okay, so when you've had a look at that, we'll move down into the next section where the path, the bottle. Well, that was the glass bottle, and now it's completely dissolved. No, it's dissolved limestone. Dissolved limestone. Yeah, totally speaking like a crystal. Unfortunately, we can't use it like that crystal. Where is this one? Yes, yeah. When water is active on this big one here, yes, it goes certainly. Okay, folks, now this has been full of mud because you can see here there's lots and lots of mud. This has been full of water-worn gravels. Now, when you get water dripping and it runs down over the surface of the mud like this here, forming the flowstone, well, when this fills up with water at some time, the muds collapse, get washed away, and it leaves the crystal hanging there. The crystal, if it's strong enough, it will support itself, like all of this over here. We call these canopies, these things here. Okay, so these are canopies. You see more of them up there. Okay, you've got some other little canopies. This is a canopy across here as well. All right. Now remember the shell fossils out random.
Sorry.
Right through, right at the very top, and you can see more of it here. This is wherever the water breaks through the limestone. It's cracking the limestone. It gets to the inside of the cave system here, and this is where they leak through. So lots and lots of it. Okay, well, up here, if you see where the torch is now, see the torch there? When I take the torch away, have a look at the shadow. It's a circle. Goes right around. Over here where the torch is now, when I take it away, it looks a bit like a pretzel. Just need to put this in here, that's all. How are you? Having a good holiday? What do you do back home? See the ram? The golden ram there? You see? This is what we call the golden ram. Looks like a sheep. And you know the story of Jason and the Argonauts? Back in ancient times, Jason went in search of the sheep that were producing golden fleece, golden wool. And what he found was, when he got to west of China, up on the Mongolian plateau, south of Russia, that he discovered that the Mongols were staking the sheepskins to the ground, and they were running over all the alluvial gravels and muds along the edges of the watercourse, and they were recovering the very fine alluvial gold that was in that area. Gold is very heavy, even the tiniest little piece of gold, and when it hits a piece of wool, it just immediately drops straight down and it gets tangled in the fleece itself. And this is how it got known as the golden fleece. Okay? Now you can really see these flat surfaces of crystal. I'll just show you a few more. You can see them quite large. And look, you look up there, there's Granny, you can see her toes in there. Head up there. You've got to have a good imagination. And up high, up above it, you can see there's some really lovely shawls up here. You can see some are joined together. We call the ones that are joined together, they're fluted. Beautiful shawls. Lots and lots of helicopters as well. Okay. And we're going to go to our right. You let the worshippers of Baal go first. They prayed, danced and sang and flayed themselves all day, through the night into the evening. Eventually nothing happened, so they gave up. Elijah then poured water over his pyre of timber. At the time that was really quite symbolic, because there was a severe drought through the country at that period. Of course, theirs isn't the only region in the world, and I'm going to turn paradise on now. Paradise is to the left. We can do it again, won't be a problem. Now when I turn it off, the angel's wing will go off, which will...